10. Size 10.
Cool. You guys ready?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
let's do this.
It took a full minute.
Well, welcome to the Size 10 podcast. Be sure to just take a quick second to like, follow, subscribe, whatever it tells you on whatever platform you are. We're excited to be here, and let's get this show going. So I'll hand it off.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Bjorn RG.
I'm Nick Scalzone. You can find me on Instagram at Nick Scalzone Comedy.
Oh, yeah, and you can find me on all platforms, Bjorn RG Comedy. But today we have an awesome guest, the very funny sneakerhead as well, Julian Gray.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm a recovering sneakerhead.
Recovering.
Oh, okay. Go on. Like, you've stopped?
So short backstory, I got into sneakers probably in 2010.
Okay.
So been doing it for a while. I played basketball, and oddly enough, I would wear retros on court, which is like just terrible for your feet and your back. It's a long time running in like Timberlands, basically.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, I was in sneakers, and then I became a manager of a Footlocker.
Okay.
Nice.
And had quite the plug. You get like 30% off as an
Sweet.
employee for a long time. So
Even on like the hype stuff? Or?
yeah, so I worked in like a small market store, and big market stores like House of Hoops, what they used to call them. Like there used to be pretty strict rules. Small market stores you could buy online because we didn't really get like the hype releases, and then you could get like 30% off sneakers.
Oh, wow.
Anything.
Yeah, you just like return it, and then you'd have another employee buy it for 30% off.
Wow, God. Whenever I go into those places, I'm always like super bummed because they don't have anything that I actually want to buy. But everything that everyone in the store is wearing, I'm like, dude, like, those are what I want to buy. Like, I don't want these like weird, like Frankenstein Jordan thing.
Some ASIC running shoes.
Yeah.
It's funny because we'd get written up all the time because you're supposed to wear what's in the store.
Oh.
And obviously anyone
Nobody
who
does
works
that.
at Footlocker, no one, you don't work at Footlocker to wear like some Nike Pegasus on the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
The fly knit.
The Flyknit Pegasus.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny I love knowing that too. Like I almost want to. It's like to start taking pictures and like reporting people.
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing. Like you have to tuck in your referee shirt.
Okay.
You're wearing the slacks. Yeah, have to wear shoes that can be bought in store or in store. No one ever does that. And then it was like a big thing back in the day to like sign people up for VIP memberships, which is just kind of, sometimes it gets weird in a store, like asking people to sign up for your program when you know very well like they're just here to get shoes one time, you know. So
Yeah, they literally just need new shoes.
Yeah.
They don't care about shoes like at all.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't want to walk around without shoes.
So working there, because I worked a long time in the shoe industry. When I first meet somebody, my eyes always go to their feet right away. Are you the same way?
Yeah, I think for the sneaker culture, it's almost like a fetish. You're just like instantly, it isn't like up top. It's like you start at the bottom. You're like, okay, that works. And then you check out the outfit and you're like, okay, maybe they're actually into sneakers, or maybe like they just got those yesterday and this is like their first foray.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever I'm out walking my dog, because we live pretty close to downtown, and there's like a lot of hip people in our building, and I'll just throw like some Ultra Boosts on to just like walk the dog real quick, and then I'll be riding the elevator with all these sneakerheads, and I'm just like, God damn it, I want to just be like, I have way better sneakers than this. Than these like scuffed old like
I like
busted
how
ass
you're
Boosts.
making fun of some Boost, and that's what you have on right now.
Yeah, these are an employee store special right there.
Did you have some of like the older Boosts too?
Yeah, I think I started with the 4 or the 5 Ultra Boost.
Okay.
I mean, it looked like they all looked the same until I think the 6th or 7th one they came out with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a couple of those. I had some. I still have some Yeezys, but they're on ice.
They're on ice right now.
Yeah.
For
probably
now.
for good reason.
Yeah. Those the slides. I still wear those around the house, but they stay in the house. Anyway.
It's interesting the effect he had on Adidas, because when I was at Footlocker, I remember the night that he did the halftime show in Chicago. He's when he wore the all white Ultra Boost, like when they kind of like lit on fire. And we had like a pretty good stock. And I opened the next day, and we just sold out like right away. And I was like, this is pretty good for my commission. Like, I wonder what happened. And then for like months, they just never like reproduced that first series of Ultra Boost.
Oh yeah, I heard that like the original Ultra Boost was like a really hype shoe.
Yeah, it was like
impossible
the
to get.
sign of a sneakerhead at the time. But looking back on it, you're like, that's just like it was like the same time of anyone have like the Roshi runs or the Roche runs?
No.
I remember reading that was the thing. I didn't get into sneakers till after that.
Yeah, you got in a good time then.
Yeah.
I don't know those.
Aren't they like a real basic looking pair of Nike runners?
Yeah, they almost look like you'd buy them at like Famous Footwear.
Oh,
Yeah, those
okay.
don't look good.
Yeah, those definitely
Everywhere.
look like you could get them at Fred Meyer, like in the that's one of those ones
You can get them
or
at Walmart
Kohl's.
hanging on clips on a
Yeah.
rack.
Yeah.
probably.
And they came out with like a couple Yeezy inspired colorways of like the Nike Yeezy, and they were like supposed to be like super hot and hip and stuff, and I could just never get behind it.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, there they are. Scroll down a little more, Paul.
Yeah.
Those look like those are one of those Nike
the
Yeezys.
like Red October.
No, not the Red October. Those ones that are like pink and black and green.
Oh, okay.
Didn't they come out with a colorway that was kind of like that on?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Was it the Solar or some shit like
yeah,
that
Solar,
on the Air Yeezy 2?
yeah, that exactly the Solar. Yeah, there's some of the other ones.
There
like,
we go.
That was a whole weird vibe. I remember
Mhm.
one of my favorite things though was like you get mall walkers in the mall. So like
What mall was this?
Just Rogue Valley Mall,
Okay.
Southern Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
very small store. Rarely broke $1 million in sales. But we had a lot of like retired people that would walk around, and so like sometimes you'd get there early and like do stock, and then the walkers would come and be like, oh, what do I need to get? And I would always try to hook them up with like some Jordans or like
Nice.
some Nike basketball shoes. And I got a couple that became like recurring customers. Like there's so much cushion here, but it was weird watching like a 6-year-old lady walk around in like LeBrons or something. Like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
That's pretty awesome.
When I lived in Las Vegas, I would walk my dog sometimes in the mall because in the summertime, there's nowhere to walk. Like you literally can't walk your dog outside because the ground's so hot. So like they allowed you to walk your dog, and it'd be like me walking my dog, some other people, and then like the mall walkers in the mall because it's like 100 and stupid outside, and you can't be like exercising outdoors. I don't know. It's like a way to get some exercise.
Yeah, to go for a walk and not like die.
Yeah.
I like to go when we're in like weird small towns like that. I like to go to the Footlocker because sometimes they have shit. Because it's like whenever we're in Montana, we're like, should we just go to the mall and like check out and see what they've got? Because I bet you they've got like something.
It's crazy. Like I don't know the last time I shopped, like bought a pair of sneakers from like a mall or like in person. I feel like it shifted to like so digital, except for like when you go to like an employee store.
Yeah,
maybe,
that's
like,
pretty much it for me. Is like either online or employee stores.
yeah.
We've out at Bait downtown.
Oh, nice.
I've gotten some stuff from there. And then there's this really cool, I always screw it up, Dark Side Collective. Initiative?
Yeah.
I always say collective. Dark Side Initiative. We bought a bunch of sneakers there.
Okay.
It's on Burnside. And like second, third, something
Oh,
like that.
wow. Huh. I didn't even-
But that's
It's-
not that mall experience. That's
no,
like
it's not a
specialty.
mall. It's a specialty shop. But like they'll have stuff. I mean, like the last time we were in there, they had those winterized Jordan 3s.
Oh, nice.
Just for sale. Like, because nobody wanted them. We got a pair. Like Paul and I have the same size. So we're both size 10. Well, so is Nick. But
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, that's why we called the whole podcast that.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember when I did a sneaker podcast for a little bit, solo one, very tough, very lonely.
What was it called?
Keeping Stock Sneaker Podcast.
Okay, I was looking for it all day because I had some. Well, I was like working, so I was like, I had some time I could listen to something,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it might just be buried.
You definitely
now.
like cut ties with it because I didn't know what it was called, and I was
Yeah.
like, Googling your name, which is really common, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I learned. I was just like, God damn it. Like, all I could find was like your new comedy show I'm excited about, because that's very close to where I live. Not to give that away.
Nice.
Okay, what's your new comedy show?
I'm starting a comedy show with a friend, Anchor, at Concourse Coffee in Northeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be a fun vibe.
Called Anchor Comedy?
It's very
It's called
close to
Alley Oop Comedy.
Oh, Alley Oop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
That's cool.
But yeah, I had a podcast for a little bit during like the pandemic. Keeping stock. I think it's probably still flowing down, but yeah, definitely like just kind of letting it cut ties, just like let it be,
Just leave it.
But I remember like I think when I started up, you had started up around the same time, and I was like, I like the dynamic. I think you might have been still doing like Zoom.
Okay.
Interviews at the time, like really
Yeah.
early on. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we did Zoom for like the first maybe 8 months or something.
I don't even think it was that much, dude.
We started recording. We
We
started recording like April or May, and we built the studio in like December.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like 7 or 8 months.
Oh no, because David and I started recording in person.
Yeah,
Because I was doing 3 podcasts.
yeah. You were pretty bored
I just
at the time, and you just like you needed something to go all in on.
I'm the type of person that like I'm not good at the idle hands, I guess. Like I can't do nothing. Like I'm so bad at being sick. Like I'm so bad at being sick. I get so productive on like a weird side project while I'm throwing up, like
I like at that point in time during like the pandemic that everyone had multiple, like was like I can do multiple podcasts,
right?
And then you kind of find yourself in like a dark hole later, like, oh wow, I'm on 3 of them. Like I don't know what I'm going to say here. Did I already say it over here? It's so tough.
Where they're like all an hour, and you're just like, what? I don't have anything to say.
It's like,
I
what have you
didn't
done
do
for the last
anything.
8 months? Well, I sat here and.
Or like
And
when
I
you had
looked straightforward.
when
Honestly,
you had to bank episodes, you're like, I'm gonna be out
Oh.
of town, so then you're like, I have 3 podcasts, I need to do, so I got to do 9 episodes today.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine.
That was the real deal. Like, and then the podcasts that like require like some homework, that was hard. I also learned very quickly. I personally cannot do too many podcasts back to back, because we used to record, because Nick would produce on 5-Star Review, which was my
Right.
podcast with David Kildall, and then David would produce on ours.
Oh wow.
And so we would do like a Saturday or a Friday. It was Fridays.
oh, it was Friday nights. Yeah.
Oh nice.
I know this because I have a quick story about it. But we would like record the first one, go get dinner, and then or lunch or whatever, and then come back and record the second one.
Mhm.
And I remember I had like 1 degree exposure to COVID, and so we had to cancel one Friday. And I kid you not, I sat in one of these chairs and just cried.
Right.
It was my whole world. It was my whole weekend just got fucking canceled. And I had no idea until I was just like sitting here alone in the podcast studio, because
you came here and then we zoomed in for our podcast.
yeah.
Was this your quarantine zone?
Oh, so my business used to be in this basement.
Okay. Right.
So I rented multiple rooms in here, and we had an extra space, and we made that the podcast studio.
Okay.
And so I was already here working, and then at the end of my Friday, I normally got to like have a fun time with my friends,
Right.
but I couldn't because and that was that like weird, like, should I tell them? Like it was like my friend who I saw very briefly. We were both masked, but he was exposed, and we were like waiting on tests, and that was when you couldn't get tests. And we just decided.
Yeah, it was back when tests were like $300. It took a week, rather than government just sending you a dozen of them in the mail.
And now it's just like, no, you don't need to do it.
like how things have changed, because I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like
I was too.
washing vegetables in my sink, like crazy stuff. Like my.
I mean, I still wash vegetables
Well, I
before I
mean,
eat
well,
them
that's
because
good.
I'm
I mean, that's
not an
good,
animal, but like
what was the wildest thing you did? Like COVID. That's like now, like, okay, that was stupid. Like,
I
was there
definitely
anything
put
wild that you
bleach
did?
on a paper towel and wipe down everything I bought at the store.
well,
Like containers.
that's what I mean, not washing. But
Yeah,
Oh,
no, like
bleach
literal
everything.
bleach
like those
on
wet
a paper
naps
towel.
and just wiping.
No, like
cans down
soft
and-
scrub on
Oh,
a
wow.
paper towel.
Okay, there you go.
Like I couldn't buy I couldn't get Lysol wipes.
Oh, that's right. They were
So
out.
I
Couldn't
made
get 'em.
my own.
I had a plug, so I was.
you had a plug, aren't you? Aren't you lucky?
What about you,
else did
Julian?
I do?
What was like the wildest thing you did?
I think the wildest thing I did, I don't know if it's directly COVID related, but I binge watched Love Island, which is a reality date. Like
I'm into it.
yeah, I would have never fallen into that hole, but we had like there's nothing going on like during that time.
I watched what is it? Love Is Blind.
Yeah,
I
that's
watched
another
like the
one.
first season of that shit. It was all right.
I just-
It was entertaining.
just how many like dating shows fell into that area where like directly COVID related. I think I probably bought like a bulk pack of like 600 masks from like Amazon or something, thinking like this is gonna be good. And then like I think a few weeks later they're like, well, we've kind of eased up on the restriction a little. I was like, all right.
I have some of those. I like the like N95s. I ordered them and they took forever to show up. And I'm pretty sure they showed up like after everyone was like, wow, like mask stuff's lifted, like whatever. They're still by my door. I don't know. I do keep a couple masks in my car because randomly, occasionally there'll be a place that's like masks required or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Oh shit. God damn it.
It's weird. You were talking about like before and after. I went to a Dave and Buster's the other day. Any Dave and Buster's?
Oh,
people?
yeah.
I've been there.
There's one at Clackamas.
I'm aware of
the
what
exact,
it is.
The
Clackamas
exact
one?
one. I went in there just like on a whim with my partner, and we both got in there, and she's like, "This place is disgusting," and I was like, "Yeah, it's even weirder to think like you have this COVID mind." I was like, I saw a kid just like licking a steering wheel.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I want to play next.
Like it turned us all into like germaphobes in
Right.
some capacity. I'm like, okay, now I can finally sort of, because like we've gone and done some of those like online or not online, those gaming things, and you're just like you're playing like the Terminator game, and you're like, this is sticky, but I'm gonna just pretend like it's not. Like one's greasy, one's sticky. Where you're just like, if it's greasy, it's not COVID, right?
What do you think as like one thing that's impacted you long term? Like for me, I'll start. It was now I can't handle big groups of people in like a confined space. It kind of gives me a little anxiety. Where I used to thrive on that. I'm like, yeah, bring more the merrier. Let's go crazy. Now I'm just like, I kind of want to leave. But what's something what's changed you the most since that experience?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've always kind of been that way. Like big groups makes me nervous. And also I think the other thing for me is just like I don't want to jump into that realm, but like just kind of politics got weird. And it's still very weird. And like even getting into comedy, it's been kind of a weird, like you sometimes see that spectrum of like you might make a political or like a race-based joke, and some people have some very adverse reactions where I'm like, that we're no longer in that, like we're just here, we're laughing, and like some people that'll be their whole, they'll come to you after a show and be like, hey, I enjoyed your set, but like I don't agree with that viewpoint. I was like, don't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see your comment.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Comments off, turned off on my
Yeah.
set, please. Like,
Yeah, very much. I was saying though, if you would have quarantined in here, you could have made like a Bo Burnham Inside Edition podcast.
oh,
for a
100%.
few days.
I think there were weeks that Bjorn went almost crazy enough. So
I went a little crazy. My
you bought nunchucks, dude.
I bought nunchucks. That wasn't the craziest. Like, dude, I was doing like those like
I was trying to give you an out, dude.
No, it's fine. I was doing the the boxing game on my Switch religiously. I did it every day.
You sales pitched it to me on the
did.
podcast as a form of exercise.
I got
you
one
were
of
like,
those-
dude, I've got the trick. This is how you get in shape. Fucking get Nintendo Switch boxing,
Yup.
dude. I'm training.
I
I'm
couldn't-
training. I'm
I
getting
couldn't get
fucking ripped.
the other game, the like Ring Fit Adventure, because it was sold out fucking everywhere.
Oh yeah, that was what the weird, like everything was just selling out, like from video games to shoes to Pokemon cards.
It just felt like everyone had all the same ideas.
Yeah.
Is what it was, like this weird collective. Portland's always felt that way, where it's like, oh, it's hot. forget about buying an air conditioner, and you're just like, oh yeah, I didn't buy an air conditioner either. I totally need one.
Yeah, you always tell yourself like it's not going to be that bad, and then like you get the days it's like it's going to be 108 today. You're like, I'm not going to be here.
And then I definitely got like bidets when the toilet paper stuff happened. I felt like I was the smart one that was like, I'm gonna buy bidets and make this like pack that I have last, and it did. And now I'm a bidet guy.
Did you get into any other like I know it's called biohacking, but just like quality of life? Like people did bidets, then people started doing saunas, and then like cold plunges,
Cold showers,
and like
dude.
all that.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
no, he's.
I don't have a plunge, but I
keep
got a
saying
fucking
he's-
shower I can
He's
take every
almost
morning.
Joe Rogan. He's trying to be Joe Rogan. He's been trying to get me to take cold showers.
And he did shave his head
He
recently.
did shave his
so
head.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
step closer.
Yeah.
I went for it. And Nick keeps
He was
bringing it
gonna
up.
start taking Alpha Brain, but it was sold out. So
Dude, I took Alpha Brain for a minute. Like, that wasn't a pandemic thing.
that
like,
was before then.
Dude, I did it in like 2012 when
What
I
did it do,
used to
man?
actually listen to the Joe Rogan podcast,
Mhm.
because there was like his podcast and like Marin, but I didn't really like Marin because like I started in 2012 doing stand. Well, I got into podcasts and then that got me into stand up.
Right.
What got you into stand up?
That's a good question. I'm like almost a year in. And what I think it's just like I just appreciate like the mental game of like I think this is funny. How can I make this audience think it's funny? And that's been the joy the whole time. Like you'll find yourself, I'm sure you write a joke and you laugh to yourself, and then you go tell it on stage and it just eats shit, and you're like, huh. Maybe I'm not funny, but then you eventually get it to work, and that's kind of the joy that I've enjoyed so
The
far.
puzzle of it.
Yeah. And it also, at the same time, that's when I stopped moving away from sneakers. I was like, you get so far into that rabbit hole of like your Instagram feed and social media, it's just all like nice kicks, your Complex and Soul Collector and podcast this and that, and like people licking the bottom of their shoes. And you're like, I got to take a step back. And so I just kind of turned over to comedy, and it's been fun so far.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did you start here in Portland?
Yeah, I started
Okay.
in Portland.
Did you start during the pandemic? Did you do like Zoom mics and stuff?
No. Luckily, I missed that. I heard
Okay, you
those were-
missed that.
Yeah,
part.
that was a waste of everybody's time.
I started like in April of 2022.
Okay.
So like we had just started coming out of all like some
Okay.
mics you're still kind of wearing masks and still sanitizing a little bit, and then it just kind of disappeared.
That was when we started Bangers, right?
April, yeah.
April 2022.
Oh wow!
We're almost
Okay.
at a year.
Yeah, so we're
Congrats.
close to a year. Yeah, because before that, Nick and I had
We had a
show.
short-lived show at what's that
Funhouse
place?
Lounge.
Funhouse.
We would.
It was Thursday nights at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
right?
Oh wow!
Yep.
And we would have 10 comics on, but they didn't want us to do an open mic, so we booked 10 comics to do 5 minutes apiece. And that was a real fucking pain in the ass, because you had to hit up 10 people every week to be like, hey, do you want to come do comedy for
Dude,
free?
more
Thursday
than
at
10
10.
people. That booking was just after doing it for like 2 months. It was. I'd gone through everybody
Was it
that I
weekly?
knew. It
Yeah.
was weekly.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it was not the best idea.
I
we've
was
had.
already repeating people after like 2 months, like
Yeah.
because I didn't know people.
We'd been through the whole scene, and it was one of those things where it was like, it was technically a showcase. We were trying to get people to keep coming back, so we were like, we couldn't just fully do every open mic comic. Like we had to have some, like,
a little bit.
so we had to be a little selective.
A little selective.
We'd be
But
like,
it was pretty
like
loose.
3
Yeah.
people can bomb, you know?
and the entire time there was the Die Hard background because they were doing the.
Oh yeah, they
Oh,
were
that's
doing.
right.
that.
Oh, they were
Christmas-
doing Die Hard
They were
the
doing
musical,
Die Hard the musical. So
which consistently outsold us and made us start like half
Yeah.
an hour
so
late.
late. They would go long, and then we'd have
The
to.
Funhouse definitely prioritized Die Hard the
Yeah.
musical
It wa-
over our show, and that was
it was neither house or fun.
it was it wasn't great.
So do you in the scene? Obviously, the Portland scene is like a moderate size. It's nice. Like kind of everyone knows everyone. But like when you're going through, or maybe you don't see familiar faces, do you check shoes first? Is that how you when you're looking at a comic that you don't see? Maybe they haven't gone up. You're like, oh, they've got decent shoes. I'm interested in what they have to say.
If a comic goes on stage and has decent, I will take them more seriously for sure.
I don't
'Cause
know
it
if I'll
is-
take them more seriously, but I'll definitely listen because
Okay.
And
it'll
I'll
be
talk
like
to them after the show.
it'll be
sure.
funny either way. Like if they've got dope shoes and then they are funny, then that's cool. If they've got really dope shoes and then they eat shit, that's also really funny.
Right.
Somebody's just like, look at me and listen to me, and then they suck. And that
Dude,
makes me laugh.
when we were doing we called it guest spot. So the whole premise was we're just giving everyone a guest spot, and we paid nobody because we lost money on it. Honestly,
Yeah.
And we occasionally made like $10 a piece, dude.
which didn't cover the bar tab that was required for me to host the show.
With 10 people, that's crazy.
We'd sell some, and we had to sell, and we sold tickets. It was fun. It was fun for the like 2 months or whatever that we did it. 3 months maybe.
Yeah, there were a couple of shows that were pretty fun.
Yeah.
And everyone got a fucking picture because Paul sat in the audience and like took dope ass photos of everyone. And it's so funny how many of those photos are people's picture on posters.
People are still using them as their headshots.
like
Some
all the
people.
time. Where it's just like, dude, you have a mask on in this photo. It's
Yeah,
just
it's like a
pulled down.
mask.
I'm not gonna say who, but I'm like, stop using that photo.
You can scroll.
You can
Yeah,
find,
I'm
you'll
sure I'll
figure it
find
out.
it.
You'll figure out who it is.
That is pretty funny.
But it's like so many people use those photos. The best part is like some of those people like commented on Paul like so now that's why at our show we're always like, this is Paul, he's gonna take pictures of you. Like, don't make it part of your act.
Were you shooting on your phone?
Oh yeah, just
Yeah.
just on my
iPhone?
phone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So people thought he was like, I don't know, like trying to post their jokes.
Probably gonna
online or
record
something.
them and try to get them
Like
canceled.
try to get them canceled from the
Canceled.
for the edgy shit that they were saying.
shit they're saying.
That's funny. I just man, that's 10 comics a week.
Oh, it was a fucking
It was
nightmare.
just
Don't
stupid.
don't
it.
do that. Like if you were
That's
having
dumb.
ideas for shows and that
10.
was amongst them,
That is
throw that one
yeah,
out.
Throw that one out.
It's a bad
immediately.
idea.
Like,
What's the idea for your show?
It's just a standard show. Like we have 4 comics.
Okay, that's a good
like,
number.
Probably like 10 to 15 minutes with a headliner or so. Just had like a cool, but the only difference is it's like an afternoon show. It's like at 2 p.m.
Oh hell yeah!
So I think it can be I think it has the potential to be really fun. And I think it's also like a learning opportunity for maybe some of the newer comics that get booked. Just to, like learn how to read the crowd. Like maybe 2 p.m. sometimes that dick joke doesn't land the same way. So it'll
Yeah,
be fun to
you'll
see.
have some fun moments.
Yeah.
Somebody with kids will walk in.
Dicks definitely land differently depending on the type of time of day. In my experience.
Depending on the audience,
It's like the sun.
depending on who's receiving it.
The angle of the sun makes the shadow look fucked up.
Are
or
you
what?
ready for this 2 p.m. dick thrown right at you?
The angle of the dick joke. That's so funny.
Use it like a sundial.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like choking on some hot coffee after a dick joke.
Yeah, no.
I remember there was an open mic before COVID that was at a coffee shop on Saturday afternoons,
Oh, I loved it.
and it was he liked it because it was horrible.
so
There was a
bad.
damn fridge making enough noise that you couldn't hardly hear people. And like half the time there was never anyone there other than
Right.
like comics, and most of them were outside. So typical open mic. And if there were people there, half the time it was kids.
Yeah.
And so it was like you had to be clean.
Yeah, you had to be clean.
I think the best I ever did there is I just did one of my jokes that I'd been doing, and then I was just like, you know what, there's kids here, so I'm going to censor this joke like it's a rap song. And so whenever I'd get to like a profanity, I would just go like that.
I remember doing rest in peace Captain Ankony's open mic. It was like Wednesdays at 5.
Dude, I feel like
downtown.
that one has come and gone so many times.
Yeah, so the final one, Ankony's is no longer
Okay.
hosted by Chris Hudson.
Okay.
And I remember like that was a place that like anyone could walk in, and I remember a comic doing a set. Hannah G was doing a set, and like this family and like maybe 5 or 6 little kids came in, and she just started to change her sex jokes into coloring jokes, which was awesome.
That's amazing.
And then the kids started to pay attention a little bit. You're like, I don't think you're supposed to be watching. And then they just like cut back out and everyone go back to being dirty.
That's so funny. Dude, I remember early on when I started stand up, there was this show that I would always go to. It was super late at like this pizza place. And I remember, and at that time I only had dirty jokes. That's all I had. All I had was just, I could do it now. I could switch. I could do a pretty clean set if I needed to. For like an open mic or like 10 minutes.
Right.
At 10 or less, I could do totally clean. But like longer, no.
Right.
But it was, I remember, and I took this advice from another comedian. In retrospect, terrible advice. But they just said, like, own your material, like, just do what you do. And so I was like, all right. There was this one day, this kid showed up. He didn't understand it was a comedy open mic. He wanted to play guitar for the first time in front of, and he brought like his sisters and all of like their fucking gymnastics team or some shit. There was all these little girls.
The church choir was there supporting
so
them.
many little girls. Like for an open mic, it was probably like 5 little girls and like one mom and like a couple and like a dad and like some other people. It was and parents. And they were all there to support this kid. And they were like, please let him do a set. Or whatever. They're like, okay, we'll let you play Wonderwall or whatever the fuck you're gonna play.
The classic.
But you're already angry because it's comics and
It's
they
all
hate.
comics, and it was like a cool
There's-
mic.
It was
like
a cool mic.
It's a
It was
cool.
the coolest open
It was
mic.
one of the cool mics. It was
This
late
poor
night.
kid.
It started at like 10 o'clock at a pizza place, and it was.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
It was like High Dive. It would
What
be
a
like
cool
if
place
some,
to hang out
if
at
some
10 o'clock at a
child
fucking pizza place.
showed up to High Dive, which is kind of like a shithole, like just like. So the host goes up. He does a set. It's and then has the guy go up, and we think they're gonna just leave afterwards.
Right.
Nope. They're like, let's see what this does. And then the next person he brings up was this comic that was really dirty, and I don't know how he did it, but he did a squeaky clean like children's set, and we were all just blown away. He was doing just like, I don't know, fucking coloring jokes or some shit, and it was just like, what? You're doing silly material. And then I remember I was up next, and the host knew that, I was new, and that I didn't have that much material, and he was probably worried for good reason. So he went and did the dirtiest material he had to try to walk them, and they were just on board. And then he was like, all right, Bjorn. And then I went up, and I just went for it.
Yeah.
And I fucking murdered. These little girls were so on board. I had a joke about I'll just give you guys a little taste. I had a joke about getting hit in the face with a dildo, which I don't think they understood what that was, but they thought it was funny.
They go home. They're like, Mom, what's a dildo?
Yeah, they're probably asking some questions.
It is pretty funny.
And then the other joke that I used to that I told was this joke about how I got flashed for the first time in my life. It was while I was driving on the freeway. These 2 women flashed me like going 100 miles an hour down the freeway. Like
You were going 100?
Yeah, dude, it was in Montana.
That's irresponsible.
It was in Montana. It's the speed limit.
It was in
No,
Montana,
it's
so
80.
they were your cousins?
Yeah,
probably?
they were my cousins.
Okay, yeah, all right.
And it was just a silly joke about how I don't know their titties were flapping or something. I haven't told that joke in so long. Yeah. No, that
Okay.
they and that fucking murdered, and I was just like, hell yeah. And then I went and talked to that comedian later that night. I was like, yeah, I took your advice and I just went for it. And he's like, dude, that was the wrong. Like, you should not have done that. Everyone was laughing so hard because of how inappropriate it was that I was doing that. It was like, what is happening? So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is.
Dude, I totally took your advice and went for it.
He was like, dude, why did you do that?
I told a bunch of kids about my dick on stage.
No, I talked about
That's going to get
Flash.
clipped, huh?
You guys have a soundboard? That's what's
Oh, yeah, we have a
Dude, we
soundboard.
downloaded
a
one.
little bit of a drop.
We're
Nice.
trying to do more of those. It's hard because we sometimes just get so excited and just yell and don't leave any space for Paul to like hit an air horn or something.
Another one.
Yeah.
We did an episode about he got the DJ Khaled.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he bought those, and so we had to download a
What
sound
an
drop.
interesting dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about him, but just so interesting.
He's a
dude.
fascinating fella.
Yeah.
He's really made a good career out of yelling his own name.
Yeah, like if he wasn't a DJ, I don't know if that's what it even is anymore.
Does he even produce the beats?
Yeah, I feel like he
That
just...
was the question that I had, because like I feel like in his latest album, at least, there were like producer tags in all the beats. So I was like, well, Khaled didn't even make the beats. He literally just put a pre-recorded sound drop. Because if you listen to the album, every single song, I played it for my girlfriend because I was like, listen to this stupid shit, and she doesn't like hip hop. She thinks I'm dumb, and like I played like 4 different songs, like the first 30 seconds, and it was like the same order of the same 3 drops in all of them. I mean, some of the songs are dope, but still, I was like, the guy didn't really do anything. He just kind of hung out.
He's like a general producer now. He's like, here's the keys to the studio. I got you here. It's on my album.
Yeah, he just kind of hangs out and is like,
I don't.
good stuff.
It's weird. Do you like the Fives?
Famous for being famous? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I like them. They're not horror. They're kind of uncomfortable. I've decided my favorite. I think I told you this when we were talking. My favorite sneaker right now is the 3s.
right.
If you go back about 9 months, you'll hear Bjorn hating on the 3s.
Yep.
And multiple episodes.
And then I bought
what was
a
the
pair.
basis?
Of my hate?
Yeah.
I just think there's just such a big piece of unbroken leather usually on the side.
Interesting.
And I love like the cage on the 4s.
Right.
I like the swoosh on the 1s. Like I think there's a lot of fun shapes, and it just kind of feels a little basic to me. But it has since become my favorite sneaker. But I do love the elephant print.
Yeah.
I've always really liked that. And it really comes down to, for me, is comfort. Because I thought it was a bunion, but I found out that it's probably just arthritis in my big toe.
Good news.
So
That's
I'm
not as fun.
No, not as fun. My dad's a doctor, and I was like, I think I have a bunion. He's like, show me. We're like on FaceTime, and I showed him, and he's like, nah, you just have arthritis. I was like, okay, thanks, Dad. What's the copay on this conversation?
I was going to say, that's the other thing you're talking about, like the biggest change. I remember I had one doctor's appointment over Zoom or whatever, and I was like, so I just pay, like I have to pay that much for like 6 minutes?
Yeah.
What a scam, dude.
But it also gave me the opportunity to lie about my weight. So how's your weight doing, Paul? I'm like, same as last time.
It's like, I'm really
she
slimming
gave me
down.
that look. She's like,
Okay.
And then I instantly brought up, I think I have a sleep apnea, which is causing some weight gain. So maybe we should look into that. She goes, have you
goes,
tried
the
cutting
sleep
down
apnea?
calories already, Paul? I'm like, no.
Sleep apnea is probably what's doing
Yeah,
it.
it's sleep apnea.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
that.
you're not
pretty
going to
common.
judge
Sleep apnea.
me in my own home.
Yeah. But I am looking at these shoes over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd
we
like to
should,
know about these shoes.
These might be some of the hottest heat that we've had in this studio,
Mhm. Yep.
honestly.
Hey, I did some research. You know, I saw the Chunky Dunkies brought up. I saw the SB Black Pack come up.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, just start with a good traditional one.
Yeah.
And I saw you had the 3. Do you still have the 3.0s?
Yeah.
Do you like them?
They're cool.
Yeah.
I
They're
mean, I
like-
like those better, but I don't have 2 or 3
And I have the
grand.
black cone. I have the black cone mids.
Oh, nice.
Which is sort of like the poor man's version.
So what these are the shattered backboard.
The first ones.
Yeah, just-
Jordan 1. I think
Like-
they're probably like that size is probably like 1,700 or so. But yeah, got those for retail. I was going actually for the Pirate Black Yeezy 350 when they first came out.
The original.
Yeah, and Footlocker,
Yeah.
like that's when Footlocker used to like
No. These are the
Those are the ones
3.0.
Nick has. Nick has those
Oh,
ones.
gotcha.
Yeah, those ones were.
And I was trying to get the Yeezys at that time, and the site kept crashing, so I was lucky enough to like cart those and get those. And then
Was this on Footlocker?
yeah, Footlocker.com before
There they are.
before the bots.
Took over.
Yeah, and so like a lot of people think I'm crazy because I wear them quite a bit.
They're meant to be worn.
Yeah,
They are shoes.
What size are you?
these are a 12 and a half.
12 and a half.
Oh, okay,
Alright.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Fun fact, they might now. They used to not make 12 and a halves like in fake shoes.
Oh,
It was like
really?
a tough size, so they just go 12 and 13.
So if you had a 12 and a half, you knew it was
yeah,
real.
yeah. So you usually had to pay a little bit more or so, but
So last sale was $19.91 for these.
God damn.
that's
Yeah, that's
crazy. What's the most you've paid? You guys probably know the most you've paid for shoes.
I think it's like 300.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sneakers like
Yeah.
330.
Was that
350, something.
retail or resale?
I think I bought a pair of Yeezys at resale
Oh, that's not bad.
at about three something.
Can you scroll down to the chart on there?
Is it gonna?
Might need you
No,
to
that's
log in.
that's just a
Yeah.
chart
Dang.
to tell
gotta
you that
log
you could look
in.
at other
all that
charts.
stuff. It's all good. Don't worry.
No, the most I think I paid was like $330 for the Ray Gun Dunks,
Oh, good.
and that was resale.
Bump that. That's a good
And
one. Ray guns are
it
dope.
was for a good cause.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
nice.
for our old
Our-
producer. He
He
was
ran a
part of a charity.
nonprofit,
Oh,
and
awesome.
they like a skateboard thing,
Yeah.
and so they auctioned them off, and they
Yeah.
got them
Did
through that.
are either of you ever interested in skateboarding?
Yeah,
Little bit.
I don't really skate
Any-
much anymore.
Yeah.
Bjorn grew up skating. Though.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I grew
Bjorn's
up skating
pretty
too.
legit.
During the pandemic, I kind of got back into like trying to get some skate shoes
Me
and stuff.
too.
They have some good styles out there, but
It sucks because so what kind of got me into sneakers was I would skate SB Dunks
yeah,
highs. That
Nice.
was my sneaker, and I actually just gave a pair to the. He wanted me to throw them away. I'm like, no, let's give these to the Goodwill. Someone's gonna be so stoked. Like
just
I have
like the modern dump nowadays.
like I was just like, here we go. Let's just give these up. But the bottom is totally
Right.
skate. Like I skated the shit out
yeah,
of them.
yeah.
But it sucks. Like I actually know people that they buy fakes because if you want to
Not mad
skate
at that.
them,
Yeah.
why not? Like who
Yeah.
cares? You don't need.
I saw. Speaking of skating, I saw that there's some SB4s coming out, like the pine greens. Those look
I
pretty.
know
Pretty
they look
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
But-
What's the so the most you paid is like around 300. Have you ever resold a shoe?
I've never sold a pair.
Really?
No.
So you have all of them, or they've all been beaten down?
I have all of them, and I kind of just worn all of them, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
well, now I mean,
Is there
am I
any
gonna-
like regretful purchases then?
there's a couple where I'm
Yeah.
like, what? I fucking can't wear this with anything,
Yeah,
you know?
For me, like comfort is such a huge part of it,
right.
and with like these hype sneakers, you just have to like buy them.
Yeah.
And if they don't fit, they like for me they just sit. And like we've been trying to start getting rid of some of our stuff.
Tough.
We've got a couple. Like you have those dead stock, those
The off-white Air Force
off-white
Ones.
Air Force
Oh,
Ones with all the
nice.
spikes all over them.
Oh
We've
yeah.
neither of us had worn them,
Yeah.
but they're just ridiculous. I have the Bread 4s in the Golf.
Oh,
Dead
sick.
stock. Dead stock. I haven't worn them, but I want to.
Those
I haven't
seem
even
like
put them on.
those seem like they'd be either. I don't know how many people actually golf, but I feel like there's a vibe that like you could enter the disc golf scene and just tear it up.
And just like
Some
have
Jordans.
those.
Yeah.
I've got 4 pair of golf shoes, like nice golf shoes,
Nice.
and I just golf in my Air Max 90s.
Classic.
But they're the golf ones, so they're waterproof.
Yeah.
And they have like the grip or whatever. That's kind of weird, like the spikes.
Good staple. Yeah, the 90s
yeah.
are. That's nice.
But I have a pair of 5 lows that I've golfed in those, and I really like those a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
nice.
then I've got the 4s. I got them off the like just the Nike app,
Right.
not sneakers, the other one.
Yeah, the
Like
Yeah,
it
they got too
dropped,
many
and I was
apps.
like, and I
Yeah.
didn't expect to get it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, so I only paid like $200 for them.
Not
So
bad.
have you resold some sneakers?
I've never gone with the intent to resell.
Mhm.
Obviously, we're all aware, like sometimes you'll buy a shoe for retail, and the price will go up over time. When I moved to Portland, my car broke down, and I sold I had a pair of Travis Scott 4s, like the blue ones.
Oh, those were cool.
Yeah, and I sold them to fix my
Mm-hmm.
car. So that was like the only real time I've ever like sold them. But like looking back, there's some shoes that as I've kind of gotten rid of shoes and given them to friends, there's some that I wish I would have just like held on to. Whereas like, what was I thinking? Like, I'd probably wear those now, you know.
I remember those Travis Scott 4s. They came out like right when I got into sneakers, sort of,
Nice.
because I got into them like 2018 maybe.
Nice. Yeah.
And I remember those were sitting on StockX for like $350 or something.
Yeah.
And I almost bought them a couple times. I was like, those are pretty cool. But I was like, $350. They were like $200 new. That's so much more.
Yeah.
And then like a year or two late, like in the pandemic, I was like, fuck. Because they were up to like $1,500
I think
or
it's
something.
yeah. I
It was
think
something
it's-
outrageous. Maybe it's only like $800, but either way,
It's ridiculous. Like
too much for a pair of shoes.
$2,000 or whatever is so much to put on like sneakers.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Can I see one of
Yeah,
those? Because
I
I've
kinda
always heard that like the leather on these is like
Yeah.
something to
Nicer.
write home about.
Yeah. So
I guess it does feel
I think what
pretty nice for a Jordan.
with like a lot of ones like you
Oh,
get.
it's sparkly.
I haven't worn them in a little while. Yeah. The
Look at
old the.
Wait, it's like actually sparkly
Yeah,
on there?
look at-
I didn't
So
know
when you
that.
don't wear some of their Jordans for a while, some of the sealant that they use will start to oxidize, and that
Oh.
will create the sparkles. So like,
Oh, crazy.
Unintentional.
yeah, unintentional. So like, I
Sparkles.
think the bread ones from maybe
Mhm.
like 2017, those got like that's where it all like really really sparkly. Like it almost looked like intentional.
Like glitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
glitter on it.
It's crazy.
See, here's the thing that always bothered me about these. I really like these as a
Mhm.
sneaker. I just want to wear.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to spend a used Toyota Camry.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to
very
trade in a
much.
car to to buy it. Like I just legitimately want to walk into a Footlocker and
Yeah.
buy this sneaker.
Yeah,
But then obviously it wouldn't. Maybe there's something. But I like how the leather on this part isn't white.
yeah. The
It's
off-white
like that little
cream.
bit. Yeah, that
Mhm.
cream.
or sail.
They just did a
Sail.
really good job with that, with the color blocking on this one.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think they really call them Jordans nowadays. I don't think they really call them retros anymore. For a while, they're just calling them retros, and like they were doing original colors. And then I
Mhm.
think like around that time, they started breaking out more with like, oh, we're just gonna do a new color,
Mhm.
or a new story, and we started getting like a lot more fun colorways.
Yeah, but like even the orange, the mid, I don't like the color blocking on it. It has nothing to do. I actually prefer the fit of the mid. I don't like the high.
Right.
If I had to choose one, but like they did something different. They like changed it up, and it's
Yeah,
not as
I think
good.
what it is they went with like white.
They
for
changed
this
it
piece,
just a
too.
little bit. Yeah.
They made it. It's like they made it intentionally not as good as this shoe because they were like they wanted this shoe to stay on
Yeah.
its like pedestal.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool shoe, man. Like, has like little broken backboard inside and stuff.
Oh, look at that.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Sure. But I don't usually wear the insoles in my shoes. I usually put like another insole in there so they're more comfortable.
Yeah.
Got some orthopedics in
That-
there.
yeah,
Paul,
like
that,
an old
that
man.
sneaker
So you
would
don't get
fit your
plantar
outfit.
fasciitis.
I don't. That bunion doesn't turn into arthritis.
Yeah, right. Oh God, that sneaker would fit your outfit currently perfectly.
Oh, it kinda would.
Like, oh my God.
A little bit.
Did you see what Paul was wearing?
Yeah,
today?
I was gonna ask you, since you said you thought the threes were just like too much unwrapped leather. Twos, are you in that same camp about those?
I don't like the way they fit. They're such a stiff sole. I don't know if you've worn them.
Yeah.
We were joking on the way here. He's like, "Look, I'll never crease the toe on these because they're just like crispy the whole way through. The
Yep.
sole is so thick."
I like that they came back with the twos.
I
And
love
they've been
the
doing
twos.
them.
Yeah.
He's a fan.
Yeah, I've got a couple pairs of twos, and
I feel like they fit your vibe because they were very much like they look kind of high fashion-y,
Mhm.
and you're like the high fashion guy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Paul-
Finally, I get recognition.
He is the high fashion guy.
Well, because you have some. Wait, what's the one we're not supposed to talk about or do on the podcast that you have? Because they got in trouble.
Oh yeah, I have some Balenciaga.
What? So what? I guess
I don't even know
What
what they
happened
did.
there?
I think they were the
They-
most recent people to exploit kids or something.
Yeah,
No.
they did an ad campaign where you had kids, which is fine, but they had backpacks made of teddy bears with ball gags in their mouths or leather harnesses. So
That's
it was
a
this
little fucking
very.
weird.
It was just okay. Like what like for an adult, sure. That's fun. That's fine. Like there are people in Portland that wear leather harnesses over their dresses, and I love that. In fact, that lady.
Yeah.
But that's just.
It's a little weird.
And so Balenciaga's canceled now.
Interesting.
And it's so funny because that happened like the week
so
that
this
he
is-
bought a pair of them.
That's where Balenciaga. I know. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Like I
you
just spent
kidding
so
me?
much on these.
To be fair, like the sock shoe, like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Balenciaga's like
Mhm.
big call. Never liked them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Never.
feel like those
Not a
are
fan.
kind of weird looking.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about them before.
We have.
I said I would buy a pair just because I wanted to annoy you. I forget. I would be willing to buy a lot of stuff because it would annoy
No,
Bjorn.
we talked about it
but-
on the podcast,
Yeah.
and here's what happened. Our
They're
other
not good
producer,
looking.
Terry, that we had for a year.
Terry's who I wanted to annoy with
Well,
this.
the both of us were like, you guys said to me that I couldn't pull them off, and I was so upset while we were recording.
Oh,
I pulled my phone out. I almost just was like
you had him in the car.
I was gonna put them in the cart and just buy them, just out of the spite of the fact that you guys said that I couldn't pull them off. And I was like, I don't like these sneakers at all, but I'm gonna get a pair and prove to you that I can pull these off.
They look like if Mace Windu turned into like a sneakerhead, he'd wear those, you know?
They do have a Star Wars vibe.
Yeah, they definitely are that kind of
Kinda
minimal.
wacky.
Yeah.
The like triple S, like the big crazy one.
Oh yeah, the chunky one.
Yeah, I feel like I would wear that before I'd wear the sock one, but I don't like those either. They're too far in the other direction.
And yeah, and the price
like-
point just gets up there.
Yeah, and they're $1,000,
Yeah.
which is a little bit
Like
little bit wacky.
retail. That's how
Yeah.
much they cost.
That's-
It's nuts.
absurd, man. This who's the 3 Stacks fan? Andre 3000 little guy down here.
Oh,
Oh,
Bjorn bought
That's wait, which one?
Andre
Oh,
3000.
Sick.
yeah. Sorry. We were we played a bunch of those video games and we got a bunch of tickets, and that was like one of the things. We're like, there was just like random like pop figurines that were like really like nobody wanted probably, and so we just got some stuff for the studio. So we got that little. I don't know. I always loved his like weirdness.
I
Like-
love that. Did you see that he was in Portland like last year, a
Really?
year and a half ago? I think he was
No.
filming a show or a movie up here, and I got a text from a friend who was like working at a coffee shop at the time, or working from a coffee shop. He's like, "Hey, Andre 3000's playing the flute outside of our coffee shop." And I was like, I know he plays the flute, but I don't think he's in Portland. He just sent me a photo of him just like talking to a dude, like playing his flute. He's like, yeah, he's been out there for like 45 minutes.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
That does sound kind of like what I would imagine Andre 3000 would be up to.
Yeah.
on
I
a
mean,
just random
I
day.
saw a thing where like on one of the like parkways, the guy from Portlandia was just
Fred Armisen.
DJing. Fred
Yeah,
Armisen
yeah.
was DJing at one point, like just like in the middle, like out of a shipping container or something.
It's got to be just nice to be that free. Like, I go down the Andre 3000 rabbit hole all the time, and like there's just random mentions or seeings of him like in an airport or at a food spot. Yeah, just playing like the flute.
Playing his flute and
Just-
just doing what he wants to do.
Going about his way, man. That's awesome.
Would you? Is that what you want to get to with your comedy, where you're just like that famous, where you're just like, where people are like, dude,
I don't
Julian
know.
Gray is just fucking spitting outside this coffee shop at 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be like. I never really had the intention of like being famous or anything like that. Just like having fun. But I think it would be cool to be like one of those, kind of like a Hannibal Buress. I guess he is famous, but just kind of like one of those underground types where like you see him
He
outside.
is
it's
the
like,
closest to Andre 3000 in that he kind of does only what he wants to do.
yeah. I'm kind of a big. I like MF Doom. Rest in peace.
Mhm.
Where like he just put out your art or put out whatever you do, and then just like that's live your own life. Like
Mhm.
I think it gets weird when you start to like intersect
Mhm.
like being this giant comedy star and being like the face of DraftKings, Kevin Hart, and like working with The Rock. It gets like really weird for me
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah.
Like I see what you mean, because like I mean we went to a Winterhawks game,
Yeah.
and we were talking about like, I think Joe Coy is going to be there
Oh,
in
wow.
a couple of weeks. We're actually going to go see Joe Coy next weekend
Nice.
in Boise.
Mhm.
Oh, awesome.
But I was just looking at the arena, and I was just like, this isn't what I want to get to. Like
Right.
that's not a point that I mean, I'm sure it's great.
Yeah.
But even like did you see Tom Segura at the Keller auditorium?
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
him
wow.
at the Keller. I've seen a couple of
I
comics
was-
at the Moda Center, and it's
Oh, yeah, it's
interesting.
I
It's
don't like it.
too big of a room.
I don't like it.
That being said, I saw Burr there last summer, and
nice.
and we saw Mulaney there last summer,
Oh, nice.
and both of those were really good shows.
Yeah.
Like it was still, like they're both good enough comics that it still felt like a comedy show, even with like I don't know 10,000 people in the crowd. And it is kind of cool to hear a joke hit with 10,000 people.
Yeah, right.
Like that's pretty neat. And then like I saw Chappelle and Rogan when they did the Tacoma Dome a few years ago with like 25,000 people, and that show was insane. Like that was really fun.
Well, that's what I think. Like I think Kevin Hart did like the Eagles Stadium outdoor, which is nuts in itself. Like I can't imagine. Maybe there's part, us being on the smaller end of comics or whatever. Like there's part of me that always worries that like you might be getting laughter or for the wrong reason. Like some people might just be laughing because you are Kevin Hart. And like I think that's what like Bill Burr and Mulaney, like they work really hard and have figured out their writing process to where like, yeah, it's Bill Burr yelling at the crowd, but it's also like a clever take on a joke. Yeah. As like some of these specials you watch now that people have like their fourth or their fifth, you're like, that's not that funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like all fans.
Yeah. No, Burr definitely did a good job of like he had just come off of recording something, I think. So he was like working on his new hour. Right. And he definitely pissed everybody off in like the first 10 minutes and then dug his way back out of a hole. He was like, it was like him doing an open mic, but he did it at the fucking Moda Center. And it was something amazing about that. It was truly, it was cool.
One of the cool things with the pandemic is a lot of comics were doing clubs in smaller spaces. So like I got to see Whitney Cummings do Helium.
Oh, wow.
And she sold out like 3 shows or something like that. But it was so cool because that's what I want to see. I wanted to see her in a club. I don't want to see her in a theater.
Well, that's why, I agree. I think that's why like the historical comedy places are so small. Like the Cellar, the Comedy Store, Second City, things like that, where it's like it's big enough to where like some people can kind of hide, and feel free to laugh. It's not too small, but it's also like close enough where it feels intimate with that comic to where like they can work the crowd and everyone around can hear and see that person. But if you do that with like 25,000 people, you'd be like, who is he talking to, or who is she talking to?
Yeah, you're right. They'd have to point an extra camera down there, and then somebody's sitting there like, oh.
Yeah.
And they're just like, are you guys on a date?
If you were to do a special, like a streaming special, Netflix, HBO, Amazon, I don't know, all the platforms, and say it was like a big like 10,000, what would your shoe of choice be?
We talked about this really early on in the podcast.
It was a question we used to ask people.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess we might as well ask it back to you, but I'll answer. I think my answer's still the same. I've always kind of wanted a pair. They're called Hender Scheme.
Oh,
you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
It's this Japanese brand that they make like copies of hype shoes.
Right.
Or like just classic silhouettes, but with like premium leather.
It's like that. It's like shed of tan or whatever.
Yeah, it's like vegetable tan leather or whatever, and you just kind of let it patina.
Nice.
And like some pieces get darker than others, like as they age or whatever, and so then you end up with a really neat looking shoe.
Do you feel like that, represents your comedy in any way?
Let's see. I don't know.
Because I feel like organically, like it probably does in more ways than you might like initially think.
Yeah, my comedy that I do 4 times a year now.
I think it does.
Yeah, I guess because that's a shoe I wouldn't wear very often. So there you go. It's just like my fucking comedy.
It is a special when it's on stage. Nice.
Something special. I'd probably pick a 3.
Oh, so we've come full circle now.
I'd go full. It's really become my favorite. To me, it's like a comfort first thing.
Right.
I don't remember the name of it, but it's hard to find. It's got a different left and right.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I might be thinking of a 4 now that I'm saying it. There's one that's like that's a 4. Now that the one that I'm thinking of is a 4.
What colors is it?
It's like blue. It's like red, white, and blue. But they're like they complement each other.
Oh yeah.
Told you, Joe Rogan over here loves America.
One of those. It's
red, white, and blue.
It might be. I'm pretty sure it's a Jordan 4.
Yeah.
I think I remember
if I were to
which
buy
one
like
you're
some
talking
special
about.
one, it's like a mismatched one. Yeah, it's that one.
What does?
Yeah, the what those.
Right.
I think that those are just a really cool sneaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a 4. They're
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, they're
I had it
like
wrong.
just similar enough that it works, but just different enough. that
Yeah.
they're kind of fun.
Yeah, I think that those are a really fun
Those are
sneaker.
crazy. Air Force 4s.
Air Force 4s.
Crazy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think would be, and it's kind of like it's not expected. Nobody really, not that many
Oh yeah,
people.
there's your shoes that you fixed
Oh
your car
yeah,
with.
there's
Yeah,
the, the car fixer 4s right there.
What about you? What would your sneaker be?
I'd probably just do like a 1, like some
Yeah.
Jordan 1, just something kind of subtle, but like I feel like the Jordan 1's kind of like if you know type shoe, but also other people recognize like, oh, that's a cool shoe.
Yeah,
That's-
like everybody knows the one, but then there's certain colorways where it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, he got the
Yeah.
shattered backboards.
yeah, very true. And like if it had to be like crazy, like do you have a list of like grails, like shoes that you really wish you could get?
I did. I honestly, I would really like the bread 4s to
Right.
just wear.
Yeah.
You know, I also really do like. It's so stupid. I would never, ever buy them, but I
Yeah.
legitimately
have
like the colorway, the M&M 4s. I
Oh
really
yeah.
like.
Yeah,
I
those-
love that color of them. They're
The-
so sick. But there's no way I would ever. They're like $40,000.
Didn't they do like
no Eminem like the rapper.
No,
Paul.
not the
yeah.
Dornbecker.
Didn't they
those
do,
are
like-
those are sick too. We got to tell Julian about the time we saw someone wearing them.
You saw someone wearing them?
We saw
They're
someone
probably
wearing
fakes.
the Dornbecker 4s at a bowling
At a
alley.
bowling alley
Oh,
in
that's a-
Vancouver.
Yeah, that's-
like they were probably fakes. Well, and they were dicks about it.
Those blue ones.
Paul went and
those
talked
blue
to
and-
him and told him that they were cool, and
Yeah.
the person was like a dickhead about it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're
I don't
definitely
know.
not real then.
As far as grails, though, I don't know. I guess pair of black cement 3s.
Oh,
At
nice.
some point, I'd like to get a pair of
Yeah.
those.
I wanted the white cements. Those are supposed to come out soon.
Oh yeah, I think like sometime this year.
Yeah, those will be fun.
I might go for those.
But I've legitimately been wearing 3s every single day. Like that has just become my staple shoe, and I just rotate through the like 4 different pair that I have.
Another one that I'd definitely like to have, but I probably will never get, is like the Witherspoon
Oh,
97s,
yeah,
those-
yeah.
the
ones that set it
corduroy
off.
ones.
Yeah, the
Those
corduroy.
are fucking.
Those
cool.
would match the pants.
They
you know?
would.
Work with those pants.
Yeah, they would work.
Corduroy's a good material.
It's
I'll
pretty
say
cool.
that,
I
yeah.
like it. I'm not mad at it. It's
So you
kind of
wanna-
like old manish, but like
It's dignified.
yeah.
It's not bad.
So Nick, you want to ask him the question that we always ask about everybody?
Oh yeah.
you kind of
so
already know the answer.
I
but-
guess if you've have you listened to a lot of our recent episodes or
Bits and pieces.
bits
Yeah,
and pieces? Okay, so you know that we talk about rap music
yeah.
and trucks. Do you know the question I'm going to ask?
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, okay. So sometimes in rap music, rappers talk about blowing a lady's back out.
Yeah, yeah.
They put that offer on the table. And we at one point we just were talking about how that's kind of a wild offer to put out there if you really think about it.
Yes.
It's like it doesn't seem like it would sweeten the deal. Like suggesting that you'll give them an injury.
Right.
You get but
Scoliosis or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
exactly. Just like yeah, it's when you think about it, that's a wild fucking statement
Yeah.
to make. And then we also talk about trucks, and in trucks there's a term called pavement princess, which is for a truck that's like lifted on big tires and shit, but then like never goes off of
Right.
pavement.
Right.
Mall crawler is another.
yeah, that's Southern Oregon. Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Like probably everyone in Medford.
Yeah, good amount of them. Yeah.
So anyway, we asked people if these shoes are gonna be a pavement princess or if you're gonna blow the back out of them.
Oh, definitely blow. First of all, we can talk. Let's talk about blowing the back out for a second.
Yeah.
It's an absurd statement because that's saying that I have the power to do that. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
like I don't know if that's a lot of power to have. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or have the time to want
Yeah, I
to do
mean,
that.
if you were to do the calculation,
Yeah.
I mean,
a
the
lot of
angle,
force.
there's a force involved,
Yeah.
an angle.
You'd have to fall from 3 stories onto the person.
Yeah. It's almost like a David Blaine magic trick. That's what that is.
And your back has been blown.
Um,
Oh my God! I had no idea.
I just feel like you're right. There's a lot of factors working
Yeah.
against you.
yeah, it'd be really loud when it happened too. Like the clap on that might hurt your ears a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm still obsessed with just being like, and your back is blown.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I can't walk.
I like this. I think any guy who's gonna suggest that they could do such a thing, I think they need to draw a free body diagram. I want to see like college physics coming
Yeah,
out. I want
yeah.
to see
And I also
some
wanna
engineering calculations.
I want to see the nutrition plan to be like in shape to do that. You know?
Yeah, what? I don't know what you do at the gym.
Yeah, because I don't know if Rick Ross is doing that. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all my sneakers I wear, those will go. I'll wear them till they're done, till the sole goes off.
Yes, I love it. That's our blow the back out music.
I love it.
Yeah,
love
I
it.
do like that these are like a $2,000 pair of shoes that's obviously been worn. So I just like
Yeah,
that.
toe creased, everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
toe creases. People get
Yeah.
so precious about that. I crease the fuck out of the toe.
Yeah.
I do it on purpose.
Yeah, I'm writing a joke. I'm sure we all wrote jokes about sneakers or whatever, and I told one the other day in Vancouver, and the guy was like, I just don't get it. And I was like, neither do I, man. Neither do I. Like the photos of people getting engaged and like taking one shoe off to not crease it is, I don't know if cringy is the right term, but like if this is your moment and the first thing that comes to your mind is like, I got to take the right shoe off.
You may not be ready to get
Yeah.
married.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a chance that your priorities
Yeah,
are
like,
not straight at that moment.
Sorry. Let me untie the shoe and put it over here. And like, that's weird to me.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta let those shoes take one for the team
Yeah.
as a token of your love.
With this shoe, I thee wed.
Yeah, there you go.
I almost brought the shoes that I got married in. Maybe next time I'll bring those. Those are a fun pair
Okay.
too.
What'd you get married in?
Some LeBron 10s.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought about bringing some LeBron since I hadn't seen a lot of LeBron on the show before.
I don't
No.
think any
None of
LeBrons
us-
have made it.
No.
to the show.
What did we? Oh no, we got it. We got Terry Dames. So,
We did. We
yeah.
got Terry the Dame 6 or something.
Yeah.
But
You,
yeah, I don't play basketball.
yeah.
I don't know if you could tell that by looking at me, but I don't play basketball. And so like all the good basketball shoes, I just think they look goofy.
Yeah.
And I don't
yeah.
have a use case for them.
It was very much a time, like it was like 2012 was probably peak sneakers for Nike, but like Nike basketball, and that's like kind of when they came out. But you're also in a great time now because sneaker outfits used to just be ridiculous. Like they're still ridiculous. Like you'll get someone who will wear like the all red, Raging Bull 5s or something, and be like red jeans and red denim jacket. And you're like, just because it's all red doesn't mean that that's a good outfit,
Yeah, it's like you made a bold choice. It was a bad one, but it was bold.
I'm not gonna lie. I've not done that all the way, but like sometimes I'll wear like a red hoodie like that with my I don't remember what the red 5s. Like
Right.
They
all
are. I
red
think they
5s.
are the
Raging
Raging
Bulls,
Bulls.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
Raging
Yes,
Bull
those,
5s.
yeah.
Like they're really hard. Like I've learned. There's been a couple times that I've done it where I've worn like a red hoodie with it. And I'm like, this is just too much. Like it's just too much. So now I always complement it with like all black. And
Right,
then I'll
right.
just wear
The
those.
opposite end.
Yeah, like I'll just be like, all right, what else am I matching?
You don't
Just
wear
all-
that Kool-Aid Man shirt with them?
Oh yeah, I could. That would be
I think you should.
perfect.
But that was an era.
No, I did. I wore that on stage. That was the outfit that I wore to one of the shows. I
Yeah.
wore those sneakers
And
with
the Kool-Aid Man
with
shirt?
the Kool-Aid Man t-shirt.
That was like when I was in the mall at Footlocker, like people would always match their shoes with like graphic tees. So it would be like a Top Ramen tee, or like
Top
the
Ramen
Doughboy,
tee.
like the Pillsbury Doughboy, which is like big in early 2000s hip hop. Like we get a lot of like weed farmers from Northern California, and they'd always have the most ridiculous, like loudest outfits that
like
they'd get.
LRG t-shirts.
Yeah, and that was like a well dressed. It was always like the super graphic tee from like Hot Topic
Yeah.
or like something like that.
All folded in cubes. And you just had to- yep.
Yeah, the printer of the meme shirts in the middle kiosk of the mall. Like,
Yeah. And then like they probably have like jeans with like gold dollar bills
Yeah.
printed all
Yeah.
over them.
Yeah. And then there's a time of like people were doing like their own apparel brands that were all focused around like Jordans and like different sneakers, and those were never the strongest. Sometimes you get a cool one, but never the greatest.
I mean, anytime there's a drop, you can just look up the drop on Google right now, and all these ads are feeding you shirts that match it that you can buy right away.
I got
crazy.
Nick a really cool shirt, kind of as a joke. I think last year for your birthday to match your zebra.
Yeah, there's like
Yeezys.
it's like a shirt with the zebra Yeezy pattern. I forget
like
what it says on
printed
it.
huge with like the stitching.
Like the
and everything.
entire shirt is like they just zoomed in on a zebra Yeezy. It's very
Took a
obnoxious.
photo
I've
and then
worn it on
printed
an
it on a
episode
t-shirt.
once or twice.
Dude,
It's in the
actually
closet
is-
now.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It actually works. It's the weirdest
subtle.
thing.
Yeah, I wore them like with the zebras,
With-
obviously. Like I was like, yeah, I might as well do it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a pretty goofy look.
Have you ever seen that video of the first time the Yeezy Zebras came out, and the guy
No.
traded like 9 or 10 pairs of like pretty like exclusive shoes to be able to buy the first like Yeezy Zebra?
Weren't the Yeezy Zebras like the rarest of the original
like
350s?
one of them? Yeah.
Yeah, they were like the rarest, and then they restocked them like 8 times.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this guy who trades like 10 pairs of like shattered backboards and 4s and all these
Oh
to
my
get
God.
those,
Mhm.
and then like
And
a
like
year
2
later,
years later, they're
yeah,
just like
everywhere.
restock. Here's a billion of them.
That's like the story of the NMDs. I feel
Oh
like.
yeah, those are huge.
They were so popular, and then now, like, I'm like, wait, those.
Oh yeah, you go to the employee store, you got 10 options of
Yeah.
those.
They'll blow it out for sure. It's like the one shoe I never got into, like Air Force Ones. I think they're cool. I think there's some good colorways and stuff, but like people would go so crazy for Air Force Ones for a long. I think they probably still do, and I just don't get it. Like you're gonna ruin it in like 2 pairs or 2 wears.
Just the all white.
Yeah.
It's
The
immediately
all-white.
gonna get dirty.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the NMDs are like they're mesh. Like in Portland, as soon as you step in a puddle, you're not cleaning that boost or anything.
I'm surprised.
I've worn these twice.
You wore them twice. It's, like
It's a wrap.
brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like the Oreo. No, they're not 350s. What are those? The Ultra Boost. They're
Oh,
just
nice.
like the one of those kind of classic colorways. Dude, they look so bad. They look so gross.
You can't do
Because I
anything.
actually wore them quite a bit, and I wasn't like walking in horrible weather in them either, but they just look really gross.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's hard being into sneakers up here.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you definitely have to have some kind of like either some like kind of dark colored beater shoes.
right.
Like I have the Georgetown 3s.
Oh, that's a good.
I've beat the hell out of those. They're probably my most worn like like cool shoe
Yeah, yeah.
because I can wear them in the rain and they don't get
Yeah,
fucked
leather.
up.
What's your one of those? Like, what would that be like for you?
I have a pair of Chicago ones from 2014 that are like those, but they're pretty beat. Like
They're
it's
just
starting
done.
the bottom is starting to like wear out, and then
Mm.
I wear like shadow ones a lot for like stand up and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
I
get
have those.
pretty beat up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have the reverse shadow, right?
Mhm.
Nice. It's a good shoe.
I've
I like
swapped
the
a couple
reverse
laces out of
shadow.
it.
I thought that was a cool shoe that he got that one.
Yeah.
I got that off the drop.
I wanted that one. I didn't get that one.
I think the
what
one.
are these, by the way?
Yeah.
So these are the On Cloud Monster.
Hmm.
And so, like I said, I've kind of transitioned from sneakers to like now I'm kind of in a comfort phase.
Mm-hmm.
Just like being on my feet all the time and like being out at mics, like on the concrete and stuff, or on a pallet.
Yeah.
And so these have been like just really good comfort wise. It's like everyday kind of, they're like boosts to me.
Mhm.
Boost just kind of hurt. Like I have a wider toe, so
Mm.
the cage of the boost hurts. So I've been rocking with the On
On.
recently. Yeah.
Huh.
Swiss based company.
Swiss
Yeah,
base.
I don't
Yeah.
think we've had any on.
No, we haven't. We had the Hova.
We had Hoka's.
Hoka.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the same lane, kind of.
Kind of that. Yeah, that's where I put them
Yeah.
together.
They just kind of caught my eye. They like have a unique look, so I was like, gonna break it up a little bit.
I have a pair of like Zion somethings that look like
Huh.
similar to those too.
Performance running is a crazy, like some of those. Can you look up the Adidas Spring Blade?
Yeah.
Is that the one that they had to make illegal
I don't know if
from
they.
running?
I don't know. They might have. I'm not sure. But this shoe was crazy when I was at Footlocker because it went on sale for $20. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez. I think I remember that. Yeah.
And I'm so glad performance running has gone into a different lane than these things because, like, the funny thing about this is you can't go backwards in these.
Yeah, you would
They
trip.
like prong, but like there used to be this selection of old dudes who would come and eat up these all the time in terms of like weird, quirky looks. And they also like that it gave them like 2 inches or 3 inches of height.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like
That's a
one step
crazy
away
looking
from
shoe.
moon shoes. Those like children's
Were
shoes
they
that you could-
comfortable? Did you ever wear them?
They were the weirdest thing I've ever tried on. Like I said at Footlocker, sometimes you have to wear what you have in store. So they gave us like sample pairs to wear in store, and it literally felt like a trampoline because you could feel it like and see it go.
Just like
Oh, like it was real
Yeah,
squishy.
and you'd get
Weird.
like tape or like
Stuff stuck
tape,
in there.
yeah, stuck in between. It was nutty.
those are wild.
That is a
Is that
weird.
Jeremy Scott? Yeah, that one's a Jeremy Scott.
Oh, of course.
Where it's got a tail.
it has a tail on them.
Wait, you got me. Aren't
those-
those the ones that I
Those
have
slides
with
with the teddy bear.
the? Yeah,
on
he
them.
got me the teddy bear slides.
And then Paul has the dipped forums, which are pretty sick.
Form's a good shoe.
Yeah, I love a form.
He rocks the forums. Yeah. Do you guys this last thing, and then we'll probably just get out of here. We usually do some fits, but we're going a little long, so that's fine. There is a sneaker. I don't know which one it is, but there's like a new running sneaker that so many people were like breaking running records that they just had to make it illegal.
Yeah.
Because it's too good. The technology, like they're making it not legal for like illegal running sneaker.
Yeah, the Nike.
The technology is too good in it. It like makes your foot. It makes you run faster, or easier, or like they made it.
Maybe the Vaporfly.
Yeah, I think it's like the Vapor or something.
Yeah.
Nike Vaporfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I remember reading about this, and they put a piece of carbon fiber in there that makes it more reactive. And it was one of those things that it wasn't illegal. It just Nike did it and gave it to a runner, and everyone's like, "Wait, you can do that? You can't do that." But they're a chunky shoe.
sprinters. Can't
I'd like to.
because they broke
Wait, they
so
put a piece
many
of. Where'd they
They
put
put
carbon
like carbon fiber in this.
through it.
Yeah, the
Oh.
midsole here. And so it's way more reactive. It's like you snap your foot down. It gives you energy as you move forward.
energy.
Like as
And-
it flexes.
and-
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It kind of like springs.
And so
you
instead
up.
of just foam, that carbon fiber lasts much longer throughout a race too. And like,
Oh yeah, I guess it would make it stable, kind of like how boots have a steel shank.
yeah, they're like.
So this
steel-
has a carbon fiber.
Yeah, except this is taking the energy you're putting into it and
And
putting the
send-
same energy out
It's
of
like
it.
vibranium.
Yeah, it's like some crazy future shit.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you can't, because the runners were beating people by such a margin.
They were breaking records.
They
left
were
and
breaking
right.
all of these like obscene records.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty
then,
cool.
Yeah, for like ultra marathons.
That's
and
I'd
like-
like
stuff.
to see. I'd like to see the design on that.
There's another one
curious.
that's called the. It's just APL basketball shoe, and that one's banned by the NBA.
Oh, really?
Because it's very similar. It doesn't use like carbon fiber, but the way that it's made, it gives you extra inches on your vertical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like those black ones there, that definitely look like Jordan and inspired from the older ones. And like the green ones, yeah, they're banned by the NBA,
Because you
Huh.
can jump higher.
which is weird because I would love to see like
just
you know
like explosive.
Yeah.
I want to. Yeah,
I want to see the
I'd
triple
like,
front.
I'd
flip
like
dunk
everybody to have
from
Yeah.
NBA Jam,
some
please.
more technology. Honestly,
Uh,
I don't see where jumping higher
Some
doesn't
boom
make the NBA
shakalakas.
more fun to watch.
yeah, and so they've like transitioned to like regular CrossFit activities or whatever. But
I saw that in your show promo you used NBA Jam footage,
yeah.
which I was so hyped on.
oh yeah,
We were at a Best Buy the other day, and they were selling NBA Jam game cabinets, and I was like, I don't need to spend $600
was
on
that
this,
in Portland?
but I want it. It was in Beaverton.
Yeah, Beaverton.
I
I
think.
Best
Make
Buy
my
is
way
where
out.
it
I've been
was.
looking
They had
for
a
a
Street
little
Fighter
while.
set.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? They had
Yeah,
like Street Fighter, like an X-Men one,
Pac-Man, X-Men.
and Simpsons. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure there was an NBA Jam.
Simpson side scroller is so good.
Yeah, it's
I
the
love
original one with like the fighting one, and they all have a couple other games in it. It was NBA Jam.
There's like
Hang
10
Time.
games on
I don't know
it.
if you played Hang Time.
nice.
I was actually more of a Hang Time guy on 64, my
Yeah.
friends and I, and then we got it for our Xbox 360 later. They like
reproduced
ported
it.
over. Yeah.
That's good.
Classic. I did buy NBA Jam for my PlayStation 3 during the pandemic
So good.
after watching the Last Dance.
Yeah.
I was just all hot and bothered to play NBA Jam again. That's what it did
fun.
for me. But
Yeah, I forgot about the Last Dance.
dude, that was when sneakers during the pandemic went
Yeah.
crazy.
I have some Jordan like signed stuff that I thought about selling during that time, but I was like, I can't do it. Can't.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Your car didn't need fixing or anything.
Luckily
At the
not.
time,
yeah,
your
yeah.
car
I
was
would.
running good.
Looking back, I probably would have been so upset if I would have got rid of that.
I used to have a Shaquille O'Neal signed basketball.
Oh, the CEO of Papa John's.
Well, he used to play across the street when I lived in Texas. He would practice across the street at the gym.
Oh wow.
So I would watch him right before he got signed. I got to meet him and he signed my basketball, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I completely forgot about that memory until now.
That's a big
That's
signature.
pretty
So
cool.
that's before he was big time.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I just played basketball with it, so it ruined it. So.
You just told your friends.
I was like, he's going nowhere. Who cares?
Oh, man. So, do you have anything you wanted to plug before we get out of here?
No, I just appreciate y'all for having me on. Hope
Oh,
to be
yeah.
back soon. I think you mentioned I do have a comedy show starting, Alley Oop Comedy Jam at Concourse Coffee. But if I'm going to plug anything, what's your Instagram?
Bjorn RG Comedy.
Bjorn RG Comedy.
Nick Scalzone comedy.
Nick Scalzone Comedy. Follow these guys. Follow the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Are you guys on Twitch yet or no?
No, we're not on Twitch.
Ah.
This takes forever.
Yeah, that's true.
We
you
shoot
gotta-
this in 4K now, and
Oh,
it takes me
yeah.
a goddamn day to upload it.
I was talking about like editing and syncing on. Were we supposed to clap? Did you guys already clap
I
and like
clap
sync?
at the end. Yeah.
Oh, at the end.
Yeah.
Smart.
Well, you should usually you want to clap at the beginning and the end.
You should get a custom.
Yeah, just a little
Slap
clapper.
board,
that,
yeah.
We totally should.
yeah. All right, Paul, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Again, thanks for joining us. Hope you had a great time. Did want to mention that we got a new sponsor. So this is really exciting news. We have partnered with Chuck E. Cheese, who is now doing an open mic that's going to be 2:00 every Friday. Chuck E. Cheese. Buy 2 large pizzas and you get all the dick jokes for free. So Chuck E. Cheese for your next birthday party. We'll see you there.
All right, bye.
Thanks.